MAGA world is transitioning fully into blame Biden for everything. They were going to reduce they were going to reduce egg prices. They were going to reduce gas prices too. Neither is happening. They were going to reduce egg prices. Egg prices are up 30%. Well, you blame Biden. They are now dealing with, as we just talked about, the plane crash and aviation safety situation. They are blaming Biden. They are blaming Biden for everything because they are realizing we're actually not going to fix things. So for as long as we can, we're going to blame Biden. Hey, the upside is they're no longer blaming Obama. They've moved on from that. So let's start here with a few of these examples. Here is Congressman Mark Alford. He was being asked, isn't Trump kind of selling out Ukraine here in a way? And he decides to change the topic to bashing Joe Biden.
Your reaction to the war of words now playing out?
Well, look, it's very clear that this war should have been over a long time ago. I lay this at the feet of President Joe Biden. This never would have happened had he not pulled out of Afghanistan the way he did and shown weakness on the world stage for America. Putin would not have been emboldened to invade Ukraine. Biden practically signaled that, hey, if you're just going to have a little invasion, it's okay with us. That is not the way to be a world leader.
Biden is to blame for Russia invading Ukraine. It's Biden's fault. Now, as we looked at recently, Trump asked about egg prices reaching an all-time high. He blames bird flu to a degree, something he doesn't care about, and also, of course, Biden. This is not my problem. This was like this before I got
here. Reached an all-time high. What's your administration? Egg prices have reached an all-time high.
It was a long, before I ever got here, it was at an all-time. Remember, I've been here for 3 weeks. And when you saw the inflation numbers, I've been here for 3 weeks. I have had nothing to do with inflation. This was caused by Biden. I had 4 years of virtually no inflation. So I'm just taking over. But I'll tell you what, this country has made more progress in the last 3 weeks than it's made in the last 4 years. And we're respected again as a country.
Right. Even though the egg prices are Biden's fault, things are going really well, except for where they aren't. And in those cases, I should be blamed for none of it. Trump in the Hannity interview, night 1 of 2 of the Hannity interview, saying inflation is back, but it's Biden's fault. It's all Biden.
Yeah. And inflation is back. I'm only here for 2.5 weeks.
That was January.
Inflation is back. Now think of it. Inflation's back. And they said, oh, Trump, I had nothing to do with it. These people have run the country. They spent money like nobody's ever spent.
No doubt it is somebody else's fault. And then once again, here is Secretary of Transportation Duffy, just to get it in here in the long list. It's all Biden's fault what's happening with the airplanes.
But again, air crashes happen, but they were more under Biden than Donald Trump. But the point here is we want to get to a place where we have 0 crashes. We don't want people to die in aircraft.
Right. Air crashes under Trump are the fault of Biden. Inflation under Trump is the fault of Biden. High egg prices under Trump are the fault of Biden. And Russia invading Ukraine is the fault of Joe Biden. The question that remains is whether the average MAGA will fall for it. In my interview with Elizabeth Warren, coming up a little later in the show, I will ask the senator, listen, I think you're right on a lot of the facts when it comes to crime, immigration, the economy. But what matters is whether people understand that. Because as we saw in November, even though we could say, here are the economic numbers, here are the crime numbers, if voters feel or believe that it is not being taken seriously or that things aren't going well, they won't vote for you. And so what is the plan that Democrats have to make this connection between what is happening out there, what people believe is happening, and how that will influence how they vote? Because a great economy is useless politically if nobody believes or feels that the economy is great. Crashes under Trump, high egg prices under Trump, high inflation under Trump. We can point to the facts until we're blue in the face. But if people, voters, don't become cognizant of the fact that these things are not Joe Biden's fault, they are not Kamala Harris's fault, they are not going to vote for Democrats. And this is the problem we saw in November. And this is potentially the problem we're going to see in November of 2026. So we'll talk to Elizabeth Warren about that when she joins us in a moment. Signed copies of my book, The Echo Machine, are available exclusively at davidpakman.com. We are now, I'm sorry, at davidpakman.com/booksmith. We are now at 6,200 pre-orders, a beautiful number. Thank you to the 6,000 of you that subscribed to the YouTube channel yesterday. We are making a push for 3 million YouTube subscribers. This is a very small group of progressive content creators that have broached this glass ceiling of sorts. You've got the Young Turks, you've got Midas Touch, you've got Brian Tyler Cohen, and that is it. So we are trying to make it a cadre of 4. Consider subscribing for free to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. And we will keep you apprised on the progress. We'll take a very quick break and be back right after this to talk to you about a warning I have received from lawyers. Oh boy, I know. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, the Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.